car behind me started last on the grid. How's it got all the way up here? But they're battling. Lotterer slightly on the defensive.
Yeah.
Goes into the first corner. You can just
This could be a chance on exit, couldn't it, for Rob Huff?
You can see the work, the corrections
Yeah.
to be made. It's going to be a drag run, Ben.
Down into Ford right-hander. They're side by side and Rob Huff goes through. And that was clever stuff if he can hold on to it. Audrain Lotterer didn't get Madgwick quite right. He went in a little bit tight to try and defend his position. Totally understandable. But Rob Huff was able to take full advantage of that with a really good exit out of Madgwick. And he has taken the lead. But look at the Ferrari. This could still win the race. He's attacking both of the GT40s.
Oh, he nearly sold him the dummy. Has he sold him the dummy? No, Lotterer's wise to it. Shuts the door up into Lavand. And the Ferrari's going to try and duck in the toe, but a slight correction being made by Lotterer. And Frank Stippler says thank you very much. And looks like there's a bit slight damage to the Ferrari, so hopefully that won't hamper his progress too much. Nothing seems to be hampering his progress at the moment. He just set the fastest lap of the race. You can see it's knocked in the front bodywork there slightly, but a bit of breathing space, at least maybe for another 1 or 2 laps for Rob Huff.
There's still a bit of time to go, you know. Look, 7.5 minutes, a bit more. Let's have a look at this then. So there was a wobble and then a touch, wasn't there? There
was a wobble, yeah, you're right, and then a slight touch that knocked Lotterer into another wobble.
Yeah.
So there's a good battle slightly further back. You can see those gaps closing, well, not from this point, but certainly for 5th, 6th, 7th place.
And he set another fastest lap, that last lap around, at a 1 minute 30.2. So there is no doubt Jake Hill is really getting it together with the Escort RS2000, and he's still got time. He doesn't need to do a dramatic move. They've got to deal with the traffic as well. The leader hit the chicane we're just hearing. So Audrain Lotterer, let's see at this, little tap.
I mean, really, for a racing driver, I haven't even felt it.
Yeah.
And these cars are robust, so all of it, that's a polystyrene chicane, so any damage is going to be to the chicane. It might be to Audrain Lotterer's wallet, but
look at this.
Look at this. Is coming down
Jake
the outside.
Hill. Jake Hill round the outside. He's going to try and take the lead, but Audrain Lotterer is not going to give it up easily. There's a little locking of brakes. They're fighting each other so hard, and Lotterer for now holds on to the lead, but Jake is still chasing.
Yeah, and the real pressure now on Audrain Lotterer, because he knows he's got a fight on his hands. He knows he's got a competitor who, in certain parts of the racetrack, has got a car advantage, slight straight line speed advantage. But the VW is so good everywhere around the circuit. It isn't the quickest anywhere, but it's so good everywhere.
Yeah, it's lovely to see, and the sliding you get from these cars, but it's also dealing with the traffic as well. Yeah, going past Romain Dumas, funnily enough, at the moment. Romain Dumas is driving that Triumph Dolomite Sprint, but it's a car that's not quite as rapid at this point, so he's trying to keep out of the way a little bit, and it's Jake Hill who goes past him, but the gap has just opened up a fraction. Yeah.
Audrain Lotterer is...
Oh, look at this. Jake is quick in that section, there's no doubt. But as you say, I think with all this traffic around at the moment, there isn't quite an opportunity. But if Audrain Lotterer goes the wrong way, they're going past Tiffany Dell, who's trying to keep the car in one piece and not get hit by the battle for the lead.
Clever move by Audrain Lotterer to get through. Not an easy pass. It required a bit of cooperation from Tiff to look in your mirrors. I hope he looked in his mirrors, but he got it done, and that's just sort of eased the gap to about 3/4 of a second, maybe just under a second.
Rigid, the 350s, and his Triumph just seems to soak it all up a fraction better.
Yeah, but it's also a heavier bike too.
It is.
The way it floats into a corner is slightly different.
Yeah, and he's very, very smooth, Russell, as well. But it is Jackson back in the lead. But here comes Levi Daisy. No, he's not going to quite get there for the kink.
Nearly, but not quite. And now Russell goes around the outside. Now we're seeing this sort of extra oh my goodness, that was close front to rear. But now he's tucking to the inside. He's taken second. Can he take the lead?
Yeah, and remember, this is the last lap, so at the moment it's going to be Jackson. It's they are really on it. What can Russell do? He's got to try and force a move. Remember, he's got to beat him by half a second if he wants to take the win.
Well, let's see. We are into the final stages of this second race. Remember, it's combining the two together that makes such a difference. And yesterday it was Dan Jackson who took the win, and Michael Russell needs to get past him and get more than half a second ahead, but I'm not sure he's going to do that.
No, Jackson was so good coming out of there. He's covering his line back marker ahead. That is actually Michael Russell's dad, who's They're doing a great job there, but they're going to come through. Are they going to hit him just before the chicane?
It looks like Dan Jackson's on target for 2 wins. If they get this right into the chicane, it could get even closer. But they've kept it clean, beautifully done, getting past the other bike. And Dan Jackson has taken 2 out of 2 victories, and he is definitely the overall winner of the Hailwood Trophy this year. What a wonderful battle that was. It does mean that Michael Russell wins the Sheen Trophy because of the separate classes that these bike riders are on. But well done, and what a dramatic display it was, and well done to Levi Day as well.
Absolutely.
Third place with fastest lap.
Yeah, fastest lap for him. So it's Jackson and Day. They are first and second in the Hailwood Trophies. You say Russell has won the Sheen with Vermeulen second and Higlett third. So, but what a great battle we've had, and what an interesting race with the mixture of motorcycles.
Of Jake Hill, Rob Huff very close in behind him. Tom Ingram is one of the ones, big slide there from Jake. Tom Ingram is one of the ones who's lost out a little bit here, Alice, hasn't he? Because he's gone down into 7th place, having started from the front row. So, yeah, he's definitely lost a bit of space further down, and we're actually on board with Tom Ingram now. So I'm not quite sure. He's actually, because he's behind the Volvo that is being driven by Gordon Shedden. He has got past a couple, so yeah, he is gaining some ground. I don't quite know where it all went wrong for him initially, but he may well gain some more ground here.
Yeah, and I love the difference in driving style between him and Jake. Jake's always getting the tail out. Of course, they're 2 different cars, but different driving style, different approach. Jake was actually under pressure from Rob Huff earlier across the start-finish line, but he looks to have had a good run through the first corner and actually closed that gap down to Priaulx. It was 8/10 of a second as they went across the line. That looks less than 8/10 of a second now, and actually starting to drop Rob Huff ever so slightly, but a perfect view from Tom Ingram's car as he whacks the lock on. You can hear the tyres screaming, corrections being made, but he's right up the back of Gordon Shedden.
Yeah, this is good stuff as they come onto the straight. So trying to get a little bit of slipstream. Can he move one way or the other to try and make the move? This is Tom Ingram. Now, can he go to the inside? Is there space? Not really, because Gordon Shedden has come over to the inside to make sure that it's not that clear. And that's perfectly fair. So good, clean racing, but tough racing as well. You're up against some really top professionals here as you now come into the chicane, trying not to make contact, and out onto complete another lap. And over the line they go. Andy Priaulx ahead of Jake Hill, with Rob Huff still in 3rd place.
Back in 1998, it crosses the line, but here we go, back
side
to
by
the lead.
side. Look at this, a chance for Bonamy Grimes, but not quite to get fully ahead. That was as close as we've seen it so far, Alice.
It certainly was, and he's pulling over to defend. Maybe doesn't need to as much. That's going to hamper Will's exit as Grimes is tucked right under the rear of the fellow Lotus Climax.
Here we go.
Out the toe, looks like he's got the legs down the straight.
He's going to have a go on the outside. Is he brave enough to brake late on the outside and go round the outside? He's having a go at it. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really skillful driving by Bonamy Grimes, but will he be able to hold on? So far, so good. But Roger Wills will not give up, and that was very impressive. He carried a lot of speed through Madwick. That is not easy, going in wide around another car, that double apex right-hander.
Yeah, super brave stuff. Later on the brakes, I actually thought Roger was still going to stick his nose in there, but thought better of it. And was there any contact? Oh, I think there was slight contact there, Ben. Let's have a little look. Was there? Yes, there was. So.
This is the battle for the lead. We might see more contact. This is the battle for the race victory. It's still just being held by the number 31 car of James Thorpe, but my goodness, Fred Shepherd is closer than ever.
He is, and actually it was Thorpe that set the fastest lap of the race, but a nearly identical lap times set by Fred Shepherd, so they'll be flat out. You can see a dab of the brakes as they're approaching the Woodcote corner. Second to last corner on the track is a tricky braking zone, so already coming in there, and he's running.
Oh no, he's gone on the grass. Oh, that means he's lost the lead just at that wrong moment. Well, as you said, he was actually in a really good place then, wasn't he?
Yeah, Fred will go, yes, I'm free, so he's free now too. He's got clean air in front of him, so he's got to set perfect lap times now, because James is fast. So we were just saying it's a tricky braking zone, and right on cue, James showed us there. I think he just went in a little bit too hot. The rear stepped out there, look, and then, yeah, once you're on the grass, you're going to do a good job to control it, and that he did. A great demonstration of car control from James Thorpe, and the door opened. Fred Shepherd said, well, that was easier than I expected, thank you very much.
I do wonder if, because I think when you've been running these really fast, these big, heavy V8 power cars...
Over the back of Jake Hill, they go through the kink at Ford Water, lead up to St Mary's. It all looks fairly clean at the moment, but moves still on trying to be made as they head through. And look at this shot, all getting sideways, out of shape. Jake shutting the door on Andy Priaulx. As we look back on Priaulx now, the Chevy chasing Jake down in the Ford Capri. There's the Mustang kicking up a little bit of dust. Is there going to be contact, touring car style? Of course there is.
Well, let's hope not too much with these lovely classics. All down the inside. What a great move. Oh, don't get on the grass. They don't. That was beautifully done. And for the moment, Andy Priaulx just sneaking in front, and he's got the good line when they get down to the next corner at Woodcote, because he's on the inside. But look at the speed of the Capri in a straight line. That's brilliant. If Jake can brake later, yeah, I think he can. He brakes a little later, gets it turned in, and holds on to the lead.
Slightly lighter Capri, more able to brake later down into Woodcote, but he's forming a train behind him. These two battling. The Chevy's going to have the legs on the Capri down the straight. The V6 power compared to the V8 grunt of the Chevy as they roar past the commentary box window. But Jakes is going to be wise to this. He would have had a look at the competitors. He's only really raced Andy, though, in races like this, so he will have to dig deep into his memory to have a look at how Andy races. But we all know Andy Priaulx, he's going to go for a grab if there is one, and at the moment Jake's holding it well.
He is holding it very well, and Andy looking for opportunities, but Jake is placing the car middle, which is just making that life a little bit tricky. Oh, a little clip over the curb, but actually no damage done. He just clipped the curb a bit tighter than he might have wanted to. Jake Hill. Now this is the area into Lavant where we saw on exit the move from Andy Priaulx to get past Jake. Now, well, he's on the outside this time, and he's not trying to go around the outside. He knows that's risky, but of course they're now being caught up from behind as well, aren't they? And so this is all getting a very, very close battle now. It's not just the two of them. It could get even tighter.
Yeah, seconds separating the top four at the moment, and it's going to be a drag race down the back straight here. Jake's being squeezed onto the grass, all out of shape, just manages to hang it. He's going to keep it on the inside. Andy Priaulx, is he going to copy the move that Jake did earlier on? Yes, he does. On the outside of Woodcote Corner. Fantastic move.
Really great stuff.
For putting Triumph engines into Nortons, Tritons, and he built his own one, and it's shorter, it's got a steeper head angle, the swinging pivot point is closer to the engine, so it's got slightly different characteristics, and it's a bit roomier than a Rob North bike, and he is just loving that bike. And he's right, you can see in the free lead there, he is just maybe 3-4 tenths behind Jackson. Jackson's going to have a battle in his hand. Levi Day now just seems to be edging away from Vermeulen as well.
Yeah, no, he's got that third place fairly safe, but look, as you say, it is the battle up front now, because the gap has come right back down again, and surely now, as we go on to lap 5 out of 6, we have definitely got a battle on our hands for the race victory. The two different class of bikes will be competing against each other here. Dan Jackson on the 350cc two-stroke up against the 750cc Triumph, and it's going through. He's going through. Michael Russell has already passed.
He was so planted round there, so compliant. You watched Dan Jackson's 350 just looked a little bit hard, a bit nervous, didn't look like he was taking the bumps, and Russell just cruised round, back marker there as well coming up. That looked like number 67. I think that's Gordon Russell. That's his father coming up. So Michael Russell was about to lap his father, and they've both gone through safely.
Yeah, well, good timing, because he's just taken the lead. So fabulous performance that. Is Dan Jackson going to be able to stay in the hunt? Is he going to be able to put a move on himself? They are, the two of them, certainly well away from everyone else now. Levi Day holding on to that third place in the background, and he may still have a bit of pressure. But this isn't over yet. Look at this, because coming back a chance here for Dan Jackson to come back into the lead. He's going late braking into Woodcote, and he goes in front.
Yeah, he's got that slightly lighter motorcycle, so 109 kilos, weighing about 140 kilos, so it's that lighter bike, but obviously it's a 350cc two-stroke compared to the big 750cc four-stroke. So it is at the moment, it is the Helmet Trophy leading the Sheen Trophy, but what can he do?
Checker flag.
Oh, it's what?
Yeah, they gave the checker flag. I thought we were going to see another lap.
I did as well.
But it is 6 laps they've done, so 6 laps, so he's taken it back as they cross the line, and Dan Jackson has taken the victory.
57 didn't make it. But changed for the lead. The Cooper's got ahead. No, it hasn't. It looked like Sam Wilson had got ahead, but he's now right on the tail of Ames. Comes up, tries to get down the inside, coming down Lavin straight, but he's going to be on the left coming into Woodcote, and that's going to be advantage. Again, look how unstable the Cooper looks under braking, again, just because Sammy Wilson brakes so late, so hard, and the car's dancing in the head of a pin.
Textbook driving from Alex Ames in the lead of the race. He was saying, if you're going to come past, I'm only offering you the outside. You can try it if you want, but I think I've got the better line. So, nose to tail. The quicker car does appear to be the Cooper of Sam Wilson, tucked in behind, but only by a tiny fraction. In fact, he was a third of a second faster on that lap. But look, another move coming, and it's the change for third place. It had been coming for several corners. Great move from Callum Grant.
Yeah, that is a classic overtake coming into Madgwick. You launch yourself up the inside. You compromise the car on your left, so you can control what he's doing, and in the meantime then you can get your head down and make progress. So how long will it be before the Merlin catches up to the tail of the Cooper, looking to find a way? Oh dear, how close can these two cars get? That's one of the toughest parts of the racetrack, to try and make an overtake. The Brabham just clips the curb as he enters into the second part of St Mary's, and that was a moment, hard-on-mouth moment.
Alex Ames doesn't know which way to look, because Sam Wilson in the number 53 Cooper is attacking on the left, attacking on the right, and just braking so super late. But are they actually delaying each other? Possibly a tiny bit, but that might just give scope for Callum Grant to start closing in. The sort of chiselled nose of the red and yellow Merlin in behind has certainly got an opportunity. And as third and fourth fight, I've been looking for the White Lotus of Chris Goodwin to catch, but he just doesn't have the legs. He's on his own in 5th place, but this lead battle is fantastic.
Yes,
Ames against Wilson, there's half a door open. No,
yeah, it was almost a switch back from the Cooper on the Brabham, but it didn't happen. Now the Merlin in 3rd place. Is going to be a 3-way battle for the lead of this race.
Callum Grant looking very comfortable indeed as he mounts yet another attack. He's dropped Clive Richards, but Clive may be able to close up again, because 2 cars fighting can delay each other, 3 cars even more so. But Callum Grant, super brave. That little nose of his Merlin right under the tail of Sam Wilson's Cooper, and yet Clive Richards is trying to hang on in the back. But are we about to have a change to the lead? No, yes, possibly. Maybe. Answers on a postcard.
Yes, side by side through Ford order the Merlin, trying to swoop around the outside, and it's done so. And that's maybe compromised the Cooper, which was looking to go up the inside coming into Ford order. And Merlin sweeps around there into St Mary's, hard-in-mouth moment, and gets the lead and pulls away.
Well, this is the Merlin race for so many years in the historic scene by the late Dennis Welsh, and he would have been proud of that move.
More traffic, possibly more drama yet to come.
Yeah, absolutely. We shall wait and see. There are flags out there to warn some of those back markers. Well, there's a little bit of a wide entry there by Rob Huff, but has he? Yeah, he's still just about got it. But Audrain Motorsport is putting him under more and more pressure. This is a wonderful race to watch. Of course, these are both in they're both in GT40, so they've got the same speed down the straight. They've got that slight challenge through the corners. They don't always have the smooth grip through the corners that you get with some of the others. That Ferrari, for example, which seems to be so quick through the corners as well as fast down the straight. But this is proven to be a good battle between 2 very experienced drivers and that are close to the camera there. But more back markers for the race leader, Frank Stittler, to cope with.
Yeah, Rob's going to be going, please move out of the way. I'm under so much pressure right now. The number 8 there is keeping to the left-hand side, which is going to free these 2 drivers, and they've then got to get past the I think that's the 96, isn't it, just in front. So a Chevron and a Lotus to try and navigate past the Chevron, and then they've got the Lotus. So actually our race leader had a good fight with the traffic, but Rob's going to get boxed, Ben. He's going to get boxed going into St Mary's. He's going to dive down the inside as they...
Oh, I'm surprised there wasn't a bit of space left, and this could help Lotterer, couldn't it? Because Lotterer is now trying to go to the outside. Oh, then he has to take avoiding action, because now the number 96 is getting out of the way, but that was all getting a little bit close.
They are in their own battle, the 96 and the 8s, down here, albeit right now for 17th, 18th place, but a little bit of smoke can I see there out the back of Lotterer's Ford.
Yeah, you are seeing a little bit, but let's hope. Oh, he's having a little think about whether to get down the inside. Rob's thinking, no, you do not have the space to do that. I'm holding my line. You're going to have to go on the grass if you want to go past. And so in the end, Audrain Motorsport had to give it a little lift to avoid going alongside. But this is wonderful. Top level racing, and you can see the race time is disappearing, and we will be on for a checker flag next time around. Frank Stippler is still the race leader. He's built the lead up to nearly 4 seconds from these two, but who is going to finish second? That is going to be the big question, surely now.
It is. Frank Stippler can have a bit of a chill, bit of a relax out in front now, as coming through. I wonder if it's a bit of bodywork that possibly rubbing on the back of Lotterers. Of course, he had that contact with Frank Stippler, but all over the back of Rob Huff as they come into first part of St Mary's, then they'll swing left into the second part of St Mary's, because you see Rob Huff takes a slightly tighter line, uses some of the inside curve to get that rotation, and then he's on the defensive heading into Lavin, Ben.
Here we go then into the final slipstream battle as they go on to Lavin straight, and this is where Rob Huff is going to have to work hard, and then it'll come down to where you position the car and who's going to be the bravest on late braking into the last section. First of all, the double apex Woodcote corner. There's our race leader, Frank Stippler, going through Woodcote now. All that he's got to do now is get through the chicane. But how's that battle going on for second place? We shall see in just a moment. Here comes the race winner of the Gurney Cup. It is Frank Stippler sharing with David Franklin. They have taken the victory with the Ferrari, and second place does go to Rob Huff and Richard Mines in the GT40. We're all set. Lights, the flag goes down, and we've got the first start from Guy Smith that has taken it away very effectively, and Guy Smith from that pole position, but he's already under pressure, of course, from Max Chilton. We heard how Max is very keen to try and take the victory, slipping and sliding around all over the place, but as you can see, the Ford Lotus Cortinas have a bit of an edge over the Minis at the start. We've got 3 Minis now battling together.
We have, and I wonder if they were going to work together. No, not so much. They're 3 abreast as they come through the kink at Ford. What a sight. Only get this at Goodwood. Oh, they're banging doors as well. Something comes up, whatever. One of the minis in the middle, the number 76, but they've safely made it round and back to the front. Max Chilton has lost a little bit of time to Guy Smith. He's under pressure from Justin Law.
He is, but Nick Swift, as you say, did a fantastic job. Yes, this battle, Max Chilton on the inside of the 2 Ford Lotus Cortinas. I think he's just about to hold on to second place, as Justin Law couldn't quite get past, but this is helping Guy Smith make a break. But again, they're side by side in the battle for second place. Through the dust they go from the oil that went down during that out lap originally, and they're still side by side as they head down towards Woodcote corner. Who's going to be braver on the brakes? Is it going to be Justin Law on the left, or is it going to be Max Chilton? We can hear the brakes working well. They're still side by side, but finally Justin Law gets through.
Yeah, he swoops down, but Max is going to have a look at getting the cut back. Is he going to stick it down the inside of the chicane? No, he's not, but that's allowed the Minis to come back into play. Now they've finished having a squabble of their own, but Guy Smith, I think that was him just having maybe a small lock-up going into Woodcote corner, just a bit further back. We've got some more battles between some Minis as they go through the chicane.
In fact, Nicholas Panmore's got back ahead in the Mini group, as it were. So Nicholas Panmore was 6th on the grid. He is now the top of the Minis, running in 4th place.
But I have a feeling this is a battle that should run the whole way, and tucked in behind them is car number 75, Aston Martin Speed Model from Mercury Bertelli with Robert Blakemore. He may get a role to play, and so chopping and changing, it's not after you, Claude, it's after you, but only for a handful of moments, and I'll be fighting back.
Christoph slides it all the way down the inside at the first corner, and actually this can allow, you can see the Aston Martin, the number 75 Aston Martin, just in the background. That's Robert Blakemore that's going to go on, you keep fighting, you keep battling away, and I'll slowly inch my way back. So this is the battle for the final podium position, and with just over 13 minutes remaining, I feel like they're going to be changing positions more frequently throughout the race.
Yeah, I don't think Robert Blakemore's quite got the pace, but definitely this battle for 3rd place, they are slightly delaying each other. They chop, they change, but at the moment it's It's Christoph Cowens who's fallen back. Who's moved up into third. He was fourth at the start of the lap. He's moved into third. He seems the quickest of this trio, but Alan Brown driving very well, and just at different points on the circuit, you have a little more performance and handling from the Invicta. Again, coming out of the second of the Lavants, he's getting right behind number one, which is the Vauxhall of Christoph Cowens, and going around the outside. Of course, that's slightly diminishing returns, but it's the longest straight on the circuit, and coming down towards Woodcote Corner, it looks though the Invicta is just in front. How good are they on brake? These are big, heavy cars, and okay, if you're coming around, you're going on the outside. That is confident driving for the pair of them, and a lot of trust, but really, around the outside, Christoph Cowens, I doff my hat.
That was close racing, and the 71 has a big history, as do all of these cars, of course, that we're seeing here, but the little white Invicta that's just now been demoted back
in a Mini as well has now come out on track. So has Andy Priaulx. So I think we've got the house captains in their Minis all getting out on track at this time.
So they will have a lot of work to do.
Look, the Mazda might take the lead again before they stop. Oh, a little clip across the curve, and then he definitely does not want to be on the outside. Oh, he's done it too much. He's gone wide. Just about safety. Can he get back again? Oh, my goodness.
I could see it from the commentary booth, just carrying too much speed. Maybe that was down to the brakes, maybe heavy braking, the speed he was carrying, and braking let the VWR race leader in. So maybe that was just the consequence of those two anomalies. So VW into the pits, Mazda takes the lead.
Yeah, it does take the lead, but I think that might be a little error after such a moment for Alex Taylor to be handing over. So Dario, I said Dario Franchitti was out, but that's still in the pits at the moment. I don't know.
No, he when you said he was out, he hadn't actually taken over yet.
Okay.
There's our race leader. The change taking place. Audrain Motorsport getting in behind the wheel of the VW Golf, gets the 6-point seatbelt harness reattached, and he'll dial himself in as we see our race leader having managed to escape. I mean, what was a lurid big slide. I mean, look again, fantastic coming into Woodcote, off the racetrack, back on the racetrack, and now finds himself in the lead, courtesy of Rick Norris going in and handing the leading VW Golf over to Audrain Motorsport.
Coming under a little more pressure right now, so that didn't quite go to plan. We'll have another look at that in a moment, I'm sure. Just running a little bit too wide down into Woodcote Corner as we go back on board with Rupert Deeth. Is he still managing to make some ground? Looks like he is gaining some places, just outside the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, running behind the Fiesta, not the Fiesta, the Vauxhall Fiennes Magnum.
Yep.
And look at him, he's trying to push, he's on the seatbelts, tightening them down, and hands going this way and hands going that way.
It's lovely to watch,
He's
isn't
only
it?
got 4 gears, there's not a 5th gear there, don't mind changing it.
It's actually great having these on-board shots. I love it because you can see the steering action, you can see the foot action, the braking, where to get back on the power flat out pretty early on the exits of St Mary's. But watch out as he comes down to Lavant. It'll be a heavy brake in a straight line, down the gears, off brake. Then how quickly can you go to full throttle in a Mini? Usually it's quite quick.
No, he's gone now. You look at his right foot. And look at the snappy gear change into 3rd gear, and looking in the mirror just to check who's behind him as he comes onto Lavant straight. Back into 4th gear. There's only 4 gears in a Mini gearbox, or in period anyway.
Yep. So
and
now,
just sitting there, nothing you can do, just wait to come to the end of the straight, trying to get on terms with the Vauxhall, but again, the Vauxhall's hogging the inside as they approach into Woodcote. But maybe the Mini's fractionally quicker off the corner, but it's a brave thought to go down the inside, so he's thought the better of it and conceded.
James Alexander is still only just holding on to 10th place though, because he's under pressure again as they come over the line. That Mini is flying, but in a straight line you'd expect the Vauxhall to be quicker, but he's actually got the inside line. This is a perfect move, surely.
Yes, that was a well-worked out, executed move. He knew, well, that's the only chance he's going to get to find a way around the Vauxhall. Now, coming out of Madrid, the run down through Fordwater, the Vauxhall is able just to probably get a car length ahead, gets ahead of the Mini, closes across to take his line into Fordwater, and frustration. I mean, you've done all the hard yards to get ahead, and it's taken away from you within a few seconds. Yeah,
because actually he did that at a very good place, and quite sometimes if you get through Madrid well enough, then it works well, but we shall see how this all goes. Is he getting a little frustrated?
I think he's been frustrated since the flag fell.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right, yeah. So that's put him up into 10th place now. So that's good news. Gordon Shedden will be taking over that car when we get to the pit stop time. But the battle up front is still very, very close, as you can see. It's Jim Morris who is leading in the VW Golf GTI, but under the pressure from the Mazda RX7 of Alex Taylor. And as you were saying, we've got Le Mans superstars. Oh, and look at it goes down the straight. He's got to move, but he's on the outside. Now depends on the braking, but he's got through. Yes, he has done it. Alex Taylor taking the lead briefly. Can he hold on? I'm not sure he's going to, because up the inside into the chicane, the VW Golf's on the inside, and he has to back out.
Wisely too. At one moment I thought he's going to hang it out there, but it was going to mean two cars and the one would not have gone. But all of a sudden the ground lost midway through that last lap was more than made up by the time they got onto Lavan Straight. But it was always going to be nip and tuck coming through Woodford, who would come out of the chicane first.
It's a remarkable race, this, though. It's absolutely fascinating to see how it goes. Remember, this is the Win Percy Trophy. Win Percy was a champion in RX7s himself a couple of times, worked with Tom Walkinshaw racing, and it's so lovely to see this car putting in a great effort here right now.